It is Tuesday, January 16th, and I'm just wondering, along with a whole bunch of you out there, where do the Cowboys go from here?
And now, a word from our title sponsor.
Are all financial advisors fiduciaries? Fewer than you think. Not knowing could reduce your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Mitch Kramer, founder and CEO of Fluent Financial. A fiduciary is a regulatory term to reduce conflicts of interest in wealth management. A fiduciary always works in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor might put their compensation or company ahead of yours. At Fluent Financial, we are certified financial planners acting as fiduciary advisors. To learn more, go to fluentfinancial.com or Fluent Financial's YouTube channel.
What's damaged your roof? Hail, water, wind, maybe just age. Oh Hail Roofing is where to turn. They've provided the best options, advice, and solutions, be it residential or commercial. For more than a decade now, you can trust Oh Hail to restore your property expertly. Oh Hail. That's OHHHAIL. OHail.com. With seasonings, there seem to be so many, and then they just sit in your spice cabinet forever. That's not true of Goodness Steak Seasoning. I know the name steak suggests that it's very good on steak, which it is, but Goodness Steak Seasoning is so versatile. Use it on veggies, burgers, soups, even popcorn. Get it by going to the website bringthetasty.com. Goodness, this seasoning is good.
It is day 2 since the Green Bay Packers urinated on the Cowboys in front of the Cowboys' home fans at AT&T Stadium. And those fans, well, a lot of them are probably still wallowing in self-pity, and others still haven't gotten control of their anger. No one saw this coming. Sunday morning, in the paper, all 8 writers from the Dallas Morning News picked the Cowboys. And, by the way, so did Norm. This was a stunning end to the Cowboys season. And football is unlike any of the other major sports. In those sports, in a best of 3 or best of 5 or a best of 7 series, you can see the end coming. You've already lost a game or 2 or 3. But in football, it happens incredibly quickly. The season's just over. It's like you get dropped out of an airplane without a parachute, and thud, the year's over. The Cowboys and their fans didn't see this coming Sunday. And if you gauge my emails and texts and Instagram, loads of fans want answers, and they want them now. But how do you explain the way the Cowboys simply surrendered on Sunday? Jerry didn't have an answer after this colossal defeat. He said he would take a while to think about it, and that he didn't even know when he was going to talk to Coach McCarthy. Jerry, if you're making a change, you better talk to him pretty quickly, because there are some good coaches in the market, and if you dally, the window on getting one of those could be closed. But will Coach McCarthy be fired after that game? I don't think so. But I also remember that last January, when the Cowboys lost in the playoffs, Jerry let Coach McCarthy twist in the wind for nearly 2 weeks before giving him his support. This is so unexplainable. How the Cowboys can lose to those apple-cheeked Packers, the youngest team in the National Football League, and the youngest in the playoffs in the last 50 years. But there are many questions about this team after Green Bay ran them away. The most asked question on the field on Sunday was in the Dallas Cowboys secondary, where they kept asking the question, who was supposed to have him? Then there's Dak Prescott. another fine regular season, and another forgettable playoff performance, Dak next year is due a salary of $59.5 million. The Cowboys' plan all along was to extend Dak's contract even further down the road and lessen that cap hit next year. Is that still the plan? It almost has to be. And the defense, shredded by those baby-faced Packers. I don't know, maybe it's these old, tired eyes of mine, but they look tired to me. And the Cowboys' defense is pretty small. It's possible this defense gets a little worn down as the season goes on. Okay, now let's talk about the offense. In the last game of the regular season, they mauled the ready for their fatal injection Washington Commanders. But let's talk about the other 4 games now at the end of the season. Before Washington, it was the Bills, Miami, and Detroit, and Sunday, the Packers. All winning teams. The Cowboys lost 3 or 4 of those. And, by the way, they'd have lost all 4 except for a colossal officiating blunder at the end of the Lions game. And that vaunted Cowboy offense, in those 4 games, Dallas produced 10 points, 20, 20, and 16 in the first 3 quarters on Sunday when the Packers led the game 48-16, and the Cowboys are getting ready to board the bus at the end of the season. It appears good teams have figured out how to attack this Cowboy offense. And that's understandable. If you can force the Cowboys into short pass after short pass after short pass, which seemed to be the way the first 3 quarters went on Sunday, then Dallas does not seem to be anything more than a toothless tiger. Now, let's continue the questions. Let's go to the roster and all those free agents. On the offensive line, which was no better than average this year, starting center Tyler Biadasz and starting left tackle Tyron Smith are free. Add that to the fact that right tackle Terrence Steele didn't have a very good season, and superstar Zach Martin will be a year older next year when the season begins. And, of course, running back Tony Pollard is free. On the defense, all the following players are free agents. Defensive end Dorrance Armstrong, safety Jaron Kearse, cornerback Stephon Gilmore, cornerback Jordan Lewis, defensive end Dante Fowler, and defensive tackles Jonathan Hankins and Neville Gallimore. In all, 13 of the Cowboys who suited up on Sunday against the Packers are free to leave now. But everything about this team takes a backseat to the overriding question. After watching the Cowboys in the playoffs go in reverse again, going forward, who's driving this bus?
Today's episode has been brought to you by Fluent Financial, by Oh Hell Roofing, and by Goodness Steak Seasoning.
Just Wondering is a production of DSP Media for FanStream Sports. You can find Norm's show along with other great programming at fanstreamsports.com.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Just Wondering. If you enjoyed it, please hit follow. Then each episode every weekday will be delivered straight to you. And if we might ask one more favor, please share it with friends. I'm Norm Hitzges, and every day I'll be just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitchkus, and I'm just wondering too.